October 7th meeting of the Hoover City Council. I would like to call the meeting to order and ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Council President Lyda.
Here.
Council Pro Tem Posey. Here. Councilmember Sweeney. Here. Councilmember Driver. Here. Councilmember Murphy.
Present.
Councilmember Middlebrooks.
Here.
Councilmember McClinton.
Here.
With a quorum present, if everyone would please stand for the invocation to be led by our city clerk and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. That'll be led by some special Girl Scout members from Troop 263329. Madam Clerk.
Please bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for your loving guidance. We thank you for the blessings you give our city and your protection that surrounds us. In the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen. Amen. And members of the Scouts, if you guys would come down forward, please, to lead us. They're not up here. I see we have some Boy Scouts. Would you gentlemen like to come lead us? Come on down.
Stand, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Would you guys like to tell us which troop you're with? Troop 5. And where do you meet? Very good. Well, thank you all for being here. Would you like to get a picture with the mayor and the council? Do you mind? Come right. Sir?
If that is okay with you, sir.
It is perfectly fine by me, sir.
He's awesome.
Everyone was respect. Oh, no. Who is that guy? Very good. Thank you, guys. We do have some Girl Scouts with us, and I think they're completing their tour of City Hall downstairs. So as soon as they are here, we will introduce them and allow you to have the opportunity to acknowledge their presence as well. As we typically do, I would like to ask the mayor to come forward. He has a couple of proclamations.
Good evening and welcome everyone. We have a few proclamations. As Mr. President said, we would like to have the Pregnancy and Infant Loss Remembrance Month. If they would step up, we have Sarah Cook, Marissa Dempsey, Joe and Rhonda Geeman, our own folks as well, Allison Phillips and Amanda Wheeler, and they are all involved in obviously labor and delivery and bereavement. And I might add that Ms. Wheeler did suffer the loss of a child as well. So we want to take this opportunity to remember what is going on. Okay. Anyone else?
Whereas the loss of an infant is a profound and heartbreaking experience that touches the lives of countless families, leaving an indelible mark on their hearts and mind. And whereas pregnancy loss through miscarriage, stillbirth, neonatal, and SIDS affects parents, families, and communities in ways both seen and unseen, and the grief from such losses often remains unspoken, leaving many to suffer in silence and solitude. And whereas on October 15th, 1988, President Ronald Reagan proclaimed the month of October as the National Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month, and whereas approximately 24,000 babies are still born each year, and whereas by recognizing this month, we aim to break the silence, provide compassion, and honor the memories of the babies who live on in the hearts of their loved ones, while also promoting resources for bereavement care, support groups, and medical research to prevent future losses. Whereas organizations like Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep provide invaluable resources offering bereavement photography services to preserve cherished memories, offering a source of healing and comfort during their unimaginable grief. And where it is important for us to come together as a community to break the silence surrounding infant loss, recognizing the strength of grieving families and ensuring that they are met with understanding and care. Now, therefore, we, Frank V. Brocato, Mayor, and John B. Lida, City Council President, and on behalf of the residents of the City of Hoover, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2024 as Pregnancy and Infant Loss Remembrance Month, encouraging all citizens to honor, support, and comfort families affected by pregnancy and infant loss. Furthermore, we commend organizations like Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep for their compassionate service in helping families finding healing and remembrance.
Just want to say thank you to the mayor and council. Now Lay Me Down to Sleep is very close to my heart. I've been involved with the organization here in Birmingham since 2008, and I'm also on the national board for training. And during my tenure with Now Lay Me Down to Sleep, we have provided photography to over 1,000 families here. And I always say we don't photograph death, we photograph love. And this proclamation is greatly appreciated. Just for these parents that are here tonight. It serves as a means to spread awareness to the families so that they can feel the love and support of their community. And the proclamation is also important for Now Lay Me Down to Sleep. As we continue, we need more volunteers to step up and be a part of the program. And this proclamation provides public awareness for that. So on behalf of Now Lay Me Down to Sleep and the families, thank y'all so much.
And our next up is our great chamber, and this is Support Your Local Chamber Day. We have Nan Baldwin here, Keith, who's our chamber president, Keith Barfield, Aaron Detling, Andrea, are you here? Say your last name for me. Egea. Thank you very much. Lori Gross and Greg Knighton and Rowan Porundabala. Rowan. We just call him Rowan. If you would come, he is our board chairman. If y'all would come up, we would like to read this proclamation in honor of Support Your Local Chamber Day.
Whereas the Hoover Chamber of Commerce was established in 1978 as a nonprofit organization striving to address the business and community's top challenges and greatest opportunities through bold leadership and innovative problem solving. And whereas the Chamber's mission is to serve as the catalyst for economic growth by fostering cooperative partnerships and advocating for its members and stakeholders. And whereas the Chamber fosters stronger, more vibrant communities by advocating for priorities to promote economic prosperity, boost quality of life, and create access to meaningful employment and opportunity for all residents. Whereas the Chamber is a champion of Hoover community, serving as a trusted resource for businesses, residents, and other stakeholders. And whereas the Chamber creates community partnerships to provide resources to help small and mid-sized businesses grow, resulting in community-wide prosperity. And whereas the Chamber's vision is to elevate the city of Hoover to be the leading community with thriving businesses and top talent, while advancing opportunities for all. Now, therefore, we, Frank V. Brocato, Mayor, and John B. Lida, City Council President, and on behalf of the residents of the City of Hoover, do hereby proclaim October 16th, 2024 as Support Our Hoover Area Chamber of Commerce Day, and encourages the businesses, residents of our community, and neighboring communities to support the Chamber and learn more about its impact on local businesses.
Mayor Cato and members of the Hoover City Council, on behalf of the board members that are here and our staff, it is a true honor for the Hoover Area Chamber of Commerce to receive this proclamation designating October 16th, 2024 as Support Your Local Chamber Day in the city of Hoover. Each year, the third Wednesday in October is designated as a day to recognize the importance of local chambers. The chamber exists for its member businesses. Our mission is to provide networking opportunities, education, and training to advocate for our businesses and assist them in promoting and marketing their services. By focusing on strengthening local businesses, particularly our small and mid-sized businesses, we aim to foster growth and sustainability in the Hoover area. We encourage the entire Hoover community to support our chamber members and shop local, as this is directly contributed to the way our city has economic vitality and continues to grow. To celebrate Chamber Day, we invite each of you to our open house, which will be on October 16th, that's next Wednesday, from 4 to 6 at our office in the Galleria Office Towers. We want you to come learn about the chamber, to meet other members that are of the chamber, businesses, to enjoy some refreshments, and also enter in a chance to win a free chamber membership. Additionally, we invite you to go to our website, www.hooverchamber.org, to learn about all the events that we have coming up, like our Chamber Luncheon on the 17th. We have a Senior and Veterans Information Expo on November 12th, because we want the community to understand the services that our businesses offer. And we have so many businesses that offer services to caregivers and to senior citizens, so come out on November 12th for that. And then we have our annual meeting on December 5th. So please, like I said, the Chamber is more than just a group of businesses meeting every month. It's for you, the citizens. It's to grow the city. So we want to thank you, Mayor, once again, and the City Council for recognizing and supporting your Hoover Chamber of Commerce. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Ms. Baldwin. I want to recognize Alabama State House Representative Mike Shaw is here. Mike, always a pleasure to have you here. One of our faithful attendees, former Councilman Joe Rives, is here. Joe, welcome. Also in the chamber tonight, we'd like to welcome back a distinguished and individual who served honorably a few years ago. Ms. Donna Mazur is here. Ms. Mazur, welcome back. We're also privileged to have in the chamber tonight Dr. Robin Litaker. Dr. Litaker is a candidate for United States House of Representatives District 7. She makes her home here in the great city of Hoover, so I'd like to recognize Dr. Litaker to make an introduction to you tonight. Welcome.
Thank you. And anytime a politician talks, that puts people to sleep, so I promise not to do that. This is a real honor for me. The last time I spoke to the council, I was Hoover City Schools' first state teacher of the year. And I was honored to work here for 22 and a half years. I love Hoover, but I want to tell you a little bit about why I'm running for District 7. we have a lot of problems nationally, but in Hoover and Homewood, we don't realize what's going on in the rest of District 7. There are 13 counties. Way down in the Black Belt of Alabama, 70 to 80% of the people who live in the rural areas still don't have running water and sewage service. 30 hospitals are on the list for closing. Two little boys sat and watched their daddy die Christmas Day last year because it took 45 minutes for an ambulance to get there from Tuscaloosa. Now, I could sit here and tell you about the people I've met that have raw sewage running through their shower in the mornings. I can tell you about a lot of problems down there. And I originally got into this because of schools, not Hoover, not Homewood, but the schools that are failing the worst are in District 7. And afterwards, I'd love to talk to you about it because I know you only have a few minutes. But what I would ask, there's more of Hoover that's been pulled into District 7. I would like the opportunity to earn your vote. I don't think a vote is something you should take for granted, nor is it something you just simply ask for. You have to earn it. But I guarantee you this, if I earn it, I won't lose it. So thank you. And again, it was just a real honor to be back here and speaking in a city that I think so much of. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Leiden. We are now joined back in the chamber by the Girl Scout troop who were briefly introduced. So ladies, if you would like to come down, come on down. We will introduce you. They have been here since 5 o'clock. They are studying democracy and working on a special patch for their respective troop. And they had the opportunity to meet with myself, Representative Shaw, and Mayor Bricado. They also got a tour of the police operations area. Charlotte, I'll call on you to introduce your troop and yourself.
My name's Charlotte, and I'm part of Troop 329. And this is another girl from our troop. My name is Kenza. My name is Charlotte. Mary Alice.
These ladies are conducting an election tonight. You may have noticed as you came in, and you are highly encouraged to vote once, only once. No photo IDs required, but as you saw on the table right outside the doors, they're holding an election to learn about voting and counting votes and representation. So as you exit tonight, cast your ballot for your favorite candy, right, ladies? Very good. Give them a hand, please. And let's get a picture. If you ladies will stay. Mayor, if you'll join us. Moms, you're welcome to come up and get a picture too if you'd like. If you'd like to take one up here. You can come on up here. Very good. Thank you. All right, we will now consider the consent agenda. Before each member and before the public who is here, you'll see items 1 through 27 are presented as consent items. We will be removing. We'll get to you just after the consent, in just a second. Items 1 through 27 will be presented as consent items with the exception of 5 and 6, which we will move to the regular agenda. Other than 5 and 6, is there any member that would like to remove any other item? Give us 1 second. Let's make sure we get this right. All right, so we will move items 5 and 6 to the regular agenda. Any member of the council like to remove any other item? Any member of the public here to speak about any item 1 through 27? If so, we can move it to the regular agenda. We will call on you to introduce your new members, Ms. George, and just after we vote. Seeing none, Mr. Corley, if you'll read the items for the consent.
Item number 1 approves the payment of bills. Item number 2 is the approval of the minutes from the September 12th, 2024 special meeting, September 12th, 2024 work session, September 16th, 2024 meeting, and the September 20th, 2024 special meeting. Item number 3, Resolution 826524 concurs with Mayor Brocato to appoint the following members to the Beautification Board: Eileen McClooney, Nancy Burge, and Claudia DeShara. Resolution 828724 appoints Christopher Washington as a member of the Commercial Development Authority for the City of Hoover for Place 3 for the unexpired term expiring on March 15th, 2025. Items 5 and 6 are moved to the regular agenda. Item 7, Resolution number 829024 appoints David Patton as a member to the Downtown Redevelopment Authority for the term expiring on December 31st, 2029. That's for Place 2. Resolution 829124 appoints Kevin Burton as a member of the Industrial Development Board for the unexpired term ending on October 31st, 2027. Resolution 826624 approves a 040 retail beer on or off premises alcohol license and a 060 retail table wine on or off premises alcohol license for Board in Birmingham LLC, doing business as Board in Birmingham, located at 5426 Highway 280, Suite 6, Hoover, Alabama. Resolution 826724 authorizes Mayor Brocato to execute a service agreement with the Hoover Arts Foundation and any and all documents necessary for that agreement. Resolution 826824 authorizes the mayor to execute a service agreement with the Hoover Bells and any and all documents related to that agreement. Resolution number 826924 authorizes the mayor to execute an agreement with the Hoover City Schools Foundation, Incorporated, in the amount of $10,000 and to execute any and all other documents necessary for that agreement. Resolution 827024 authorizes the mayor to execute a service agreement with Hoover Helps and any other documents necessary to execute that agreement. Resolution 827124 authorizes the mayor to execute a service agreement with Hoover Historical Society and all related documents. Resolution 827224 authorizes the mayor to execute a service agreement with the Hoover Service Club, Incorporated, and any and all related documents. Resolution 827324 authorizes the mayor to execute a service agreement with the Robert O. Finley Character Foundation and any and all related documents. Resolution 827424 authorizes the mayor to execute an agreement with the International Council of Shopping Centers, Incorporated, and any and all documents necessary for that agreement for the use of exhibitor space or meeting space at the 2025 International Council of Shopping Centers Las Vegas Trade Show in May 2025. Resolution number 827524 authorizes the mayor to execute a service agreement with the Miss Hoover Foundation and all related documents. Resolution number 827624 authorizes the mayor to execute an agreement with the Jefferson County Commission in the amount of $20,000 for the Senior Center Nutrition Grant to help offset the expenses of running the nutrition program at the Hoover Senior Center. Resolution 827724 authorizes the mayor to execute a professional services agreement with the Center for Public Safety Excellence for the facilitation of community-driven strategic plan for the city of Hoover, Alabama. Resolution 827824 authorizes Mayor Brocato to execute an agreement with FireStats LLC for performance measurement-related software for fire service operations with the city of Hoover, Alabama. Resolution 827924 amends the budget for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2025 for the use of opioid settlement funds for EMS supplies for the Hoover Fire Department and various equipment and training for the Hoover Police Department. Resolution number 828024 amends the budget for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2025 to correct a position title from Court Administrative Assistant to Administrative Assistant Senior as shown on Exhibit A to the resolution. Resolution 828124 amends the budget for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2025 for the fiscal year 2025 employee insurance rates shown on Exhibit A to the resolution. Resolution number 828224 authorizes Mayor Brocato to accept a bid number 24-011 for custom and printed apparel and accessories for the city of Hoover, Alabama from Copri Signs and Graphics LLC in an amount not to exceed $42,024.15 per year, and authorizes the mayor to execute an agreement reflecting the same. Resolution number 828324 authorizes Mayor Brocato to reject a bid from the lowest bidder, which was bid number 24-017, and accept a bid for drainage improvements along the Savoy Street for City of Hoover, Alabama from Gillespie Construction in an amount not to exceed $143,588 per year, and authorizes Mayor Brocato to execute an agreement reflecting the same. Resolution number 828424 authorizes Mayor Brocato to execute an agreement with Motorola Solutions for annual maintenance for the public radio system support and to execute any and all documents necessary for that agreement.
Mr. President, I move for approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for approval of the agenda. Councilor Middlebrooks will be abstaining. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the motion carries. Now I would like to call on Chairwoman Amy George, who is here to introduce some new members to the Beautification Board. We have several current members, and so Amy, turn it over to you for those
Thank you.
introductions.
Thanks. Good evening, and I am Amy George and love serving in my community. And we, the Beautification Board, are honored to install our new 3 members that are community leaders already in Hoover, and installing them as our new members of the Hoover Beautification Board. If I can get those 3 members to come stand up along with Mayor Brocato at the front. I'll read a short bio about each member. All right, so Claudia DeShera, a lifelong resident of Hoover, Claudia has dedicated herself to her family and community. She's a graduate of John Carroll Catholic High School and the University of Alabama. Claudia has spent the last 15 years actively involved at St. Rose Academy, particularly with the Capital Campaign and Annual Gala Fundraiser Committee. Claudia has a background in design with a concentration in floral design. She is excited to serve the city of Hoover and contribute to the planning of special events. So welcome, Claudia. Then we have Eileen McClooney. She's a 36-year resident of Hoover, where she and her husband of 36 years, George, have raised 2 successful daughters and now enjoys spending time with their granddaughter. She attended Birmingham Southern College, where she met her husband and obtained a Bachelor of Science degree in nursing. She's also co-proprietor of the Hoover restaurants Beef O'Brady's and Farley's Southern Bar and Kitchen. After a career of over 35 years that began as a NICU nurse and ended as an executive pharmaceutical sales representative for Merck, Eileen is enjoying retirement. I feel like you're very busy. She's a member of Prince of Peace Catholic Church and enjoys traveling and volunteering in her community, where she's currently a member of the Hoover YMCA board. She's passionate about all things Hoover and looks forward to volunteering with the Beautification Board. So welcome. And then we have Nancy Burge, born in New Orleans and raised in Bluff Park and Mountain Brook. Nancy has deep roots in her community. A graduate of Mountain Brook High School and the UAB School of Nursing, she enjoyed a successful 20-year-plus career in neonatal, open heart intensive care, and radiation oncology nursing. Nancy and her husband, Stephen, have been happily married for 42 years and are proud parents of 2 sons. They look forward to welcoming grandchildren in the future. I don't know if they're here tonight. It's like a hint. A master gardener, having completed the course at the Birmingham Botanical Gardens and a former docent at the Birmingham Museum of Art, Nancy blends her love for horticulture, art, and community service. She and Stephen are active volunteers serving with the Symphony Guild as ushers at the Red Mountain, Virginia Sanford, Lyric, and Alice Stevens Theaters. She's also a member of the Friends of the Hoover Library and an active member at Hunter Street Baptist Church, where she sings in the choir. For the past 17 years, Nancy has run a successful travel business using her passion for exploration to craft meaningful experiences. With her diverse background in healthcare, art, gardening, travel, and volunteer work, Nancy is excited to contribute to the Hoover Beatification Board and is dedicated to enhancing the beauty and vibrancy of her community. So welcome.
Also on our regular agenda tonight, items 4, 7, and 8 included appointments to the Commercial Development Authority, Downtown Redevelopment Authority, and the Industrial Development Board. Councilor Murphy has worked incredibly hard over the last few weeks to solicit applications and recommend members to those respective boards. And I'd like to call on Councilor Murphy to introduce these new members.
Thank you so much, President Leiter. I would ask that Calvin Burton, Christopher Washington, and David Patton make their way to the front here. First of all, we had over 12 applicants, and so thank you all so much. A little bit about these gentlemen. Mr. Burton will be serving on the IDB board. Brings a wealth of knowledge in marketing and real estate, holds his MBA and also a BA degree. Christopher Washington is a graduate of the University of Auburn, architectural degree, has a wealth of knowledge and experience in construction, also in development, and ownership as well on those developments. And also last but not least, David. David has, his resume probably extend 4 or 5 pages. He has a lot of knowledge as far as the sector of marketing, also real estate and business procurement. So I'm glad that these gentlemen are giving their time for free. I think I've told you it's not a payment for this, but you know, we don't do things as public servant at Hoover for actual payment. But thank you all so much, and take you away from your families and your willingness to serve.
If we could get one more picture with these gentlemen, if you'd stick around, the mayor join us for a picture. One more. Hey, 2 more.
Hey, thank you all.
We'll now move to our regular agenda and begin with item number 5, which was moved from the consent. And it's my understanding, Mr. Murphy, we would like to continue this until the next meeting, October 21st. Entertain a motion to continue.
Yes, and so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay.
Can I make one comment, Mr. President? The only reason why these two were not added, some individuals, especially the public sector, have policies that require them, once they're considered, to ask their organization if it's okay to be a part of certain entities. So it's a normal process. So that is the delay associated with this piece of it. Thank you all.
Very good. Thank you, Councilor Murphy. And item number 6, resolution number 8289-24 is recommended to continue until October 21st, 2024. Entertain a motion to such.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the motion carries. Now, item number 28, resolution number 8285-24. Mr. Corley.
Resolution 828524 authorizes the naming of the public drive located on the Aldrich Gardens property as Frank Skinner Jr. Drive.
Mr. President, I move for approval of resolution number 8285-24.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. As most of you know, Mayor Skinner, who is in the audience tonight, served honorably to the city and was responsible for the leadership at a time where we had our city's largest growth. And few people have placed an imprint and a lasting legacy on the city like Frank Skinner Jr. has. And we have received interest from the community and interest from the Aldridge Gardens Board to somehow properly name something in his honor. And so tonight, we will vote on naming, making it public, a drive, and naming the road leading into Aldridge Gardens as Frank Skinner Jr. Drive. Some of you may be aware that Mayor Skinner is a life member of the Board of Directors of Aldridge Gardens. It was incredibly instrumental in securing an agreement with the Aldridge family to bring that into the city of Hoover as a public park. So while tonight is simply naming that, we will at some point in the very near future erect a sign noting that, change the address of Aldridge Gardens to reflect Frank Skinner Jr. Drive, but tonight is the official vote. Any questions or comments from the body tonight? Any comments from the public? We have a motion and a second for approval. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the motion carries. Mayor Skinner, will you please stand and be recognized? We will now have first readings for a few items, beginning with item number 29. I'll remind the members and the audience that these are first readings only. And beginning with item number 29, a resolution 8286-24, Mr. Corley.
This resolution grants conditional use to allow for an indoor recreational golf venue with on-premises sale of alcohol for the property located at 5844 LC Road, Hoover, Alabama, and Knox Square, in accordance with the conditions listed on Exhibit 2 to the resolution. A public hearing is scheduled for October 21st, 2024.
And item number 30, a first reading of ordinance number 24-2660, Mr. Corley.
This ordinance amends ordinance number 263 to rezone the property located at 3951 South Shades Crest Road to R1 Single Family District. A public hearing scheduled for October 21st, 2024.
And finally, item 31, ordinance number 24-2661.
This ordinance amends ordinance number 263 to rezone the property located at 2308 Old Rocky Ridge Road to R1 Single Family District. A public hearing is scheduled for October 21st, 2024.
And item 32, ordinance number 24-2662, Mr. Corley.
This ordinance repeals ordinance number 23-2624 related to Chapter 14 taxation, Article 2, sales and use tax. A public hearing is scheduled for October 21st, 2024.
Mr. President, I'd like to suspend the rules and for immediate consideration on that item.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for suspension of rules. I'll remind the body that this does require a unanimous vote in order for rules to be suspended for consideration tonight. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Aye.
Councilor Driver?
Aye.
Councilor Murphy?
Aye.
Councilor Middlebrooks?
Aye.
Councilor McClinton? Councilor Lida?
Aye. 7 ayes and 0 nays. The rules are suspended, and we will consider the ordinance for immediate consideration. I'll entertain a motion on the ordinance.
Mr. President, I move for the adoption of ordinance number 24-2662.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions by other members? Any questions or comments from members of the public? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Posey? Councilor Sweeney?
Aye.
Councilor Driver? Councilor Murphy?
Aye.
Councilor Middlebrooks?
Aye.
Councilor McClinton? Councilor Lida?
Aye. With 7 ayes and 0 nays, the motion carries and the ordinance is adopted. That brings us to the end of our regular agenda. Now open up for any council comments.
I do, Mr. President, and hopefully I'll be quick. So I was asked, and as many of us, regarding the recent certificate of need process as it relates to Riverwalk. And typically I like to digest things and do appropriate research before having conversation. Keep in mind, on that piece. In 2021, City of Hoover started a Hoover Healthcare Authority, right? As you all have seen, many people we have appointed to boards. And you give them flexibility and autonomy to begin to do certain things like the school board we appoint and other agencies. Some of our agencies offer certain incentives packets. It was a question as it relates to who would pay for fees associated with that. Now, in a perfect world, we won't get challenged anytime we're planning on doing anything in the city. But that is an option for individuals to challenge anything related to healthcare or a CON. And we did get challenged, and there's costs associated with that. Now, language associated within that agreement said X, but it was always the intent of the healthcare authority to be a part of that, any discrepancies associated with that. So I would ask our legal team to do a deep dive to explain what occurred with that, because it relates to the legal fees that had to be paid to argue that, who's responsible for that. So I didn't want to ask our legal team to provide some input associated with it.
Yes, thank you, Councilor Murphy. There's been some confusion, or seems to be some confusion about who should bear the cost for the certificate of need and the application and the related costs. And to be clear, it's always been the intention of the Hoover Healthcare Authority and the city for the Healthcare Authority to apply for and hold the certificate of need for this development and for the city to bear the costs. The confusion, I think, stems from a zoning amendment that said that the developer will seek a certificate of need. This statement was based on preliminary information submitted by a partner of the developer, and in the zoning amendment that was brought forward, the amendment to the River Chase PUD. But that statement in the preamble to that zoning amendment is not binding on the city, the healthcare authority, or the developer, and it has no effect whatsoever on the development agreement that the city entered into with the developer.
I want to end on this, that if Hoover recalls the need that we have had for health care, started well before discussions of Riverwalk. If anyone recall the freestanding hospital, that's UAB, that was built in 2015. Because we didn't have health care, we didn't have opportunities here as other cities, and we're the 6th largest city in the state of Alabama. That was constructed and built May 4th, 2015. And after a year, it began to receive 3 times as much visitors than projected, meaning that the feedback they received from that freestanding is folks are coming all the way from Gardendale and other places to come to freestanding because it's quicker. Let me tell you the reason why. Most hospitals utilize, and I'm an engineer, so I had to do my research on this. I'm not a doctor but I had to call a couple of administrators as it relates to hospitals. Most hospitals share the same, what you call the, what do they call it, the blood work? When you're doing your blood work and all that? Medical record. No, it's what now? Diagnostics. Okay, I had another word, just left me. But most of the hospitals share the same blood work area. So emergencies to first, second floor, trauma, they're waiting on that to come down. That freestanding unit doesn't have to share that medical piece with anyone. So time you go in, you pull your samples or blood work, you immediately get a response back quickly. That's why folks are only staying in there an hour or so versus being in the hospital 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. So look at the math on this, the engineer and me. I would rather come to Hoover and drive an hour and a half, get out in an hour, that's 2 hours and 30 minutes, versus going right down the road, stay 4 hours. That's just math. So I did want to say this, our effort and our commitment to our citizens to serve this regional area, and we are the 6th largest city and growing. So I just want to land right there because we were asked the questions. I want to make sure I respond in kind. Thank you, Mr. President.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Councilor Murphy. Any other comments?
Yes, sir, Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to explain my reason for abstention on the consent agenda. I failed to recognize that there's a executed agreement for the Hoover City Schools Foundation. I felt it prudent that I abstained from that. So that was on me. Thank you.
Any other comments from the body?
I would, just for the purpose of people, a lot of people know, a fellow colleague, he is an educator for Hoover City Schools. For people that don't know, why is he voting on school-related items? That's because of that.
Very good. Any others? Very well. Anyone from the public like to make a comment tonight? Councilor Mazur, come on down. We ask that guests respect our 3-minute clock and give your name and general neighborhood you reside in. Next.
Yes, my name is Donna Mazur. I used to be a Hoover City Council member. So I've sat where you're sitting. I was very disturbed about what's going on in this city. I met Mayor Brocado the other day, quite by accident. And I told him I had concerns. He asked me why. I told him this was not the place. He said, tell me your concerns. So I jumped in with 2 feet. And the IRS report, the missing files, there's no backup, the council is not telling anyone anything. The last words that Mayor Brocado said to me was, you're getting the wrong information. Well, I'm here tonight to ask the council, what is the correct and right information? Because no one person is saying anything about what's going on in this city. Mayor Brocado told me he has no idea about the way the citizens feel. I said, don't you read the paper? Don't you listen to the community? He told me no. Okay. I want to know what is going on in my city. What am I paying for? Why am I paying it? That's what I want to know from this council. Simple as that.
Thank you, Ms. Mazur. Anyone else like to speak tonight? Yes, ma'am.
Hello, everybody. First, I would like to say thank you and good evening, Mr. Mayor, and good evening to the Honorable Hoover City Council. I'm attorney Yashiba Red Blanchard, and I'm the Democrat nominee for probate judge, Place 1, Jefferson County. I want to first apologize to you guys that I didn't get the opportunity on the first leg of my campaign to come by here, but I had to travel the entire Jefferson County. So please accept my apology for that. Want to give you some background about myself to introduce myself to you guys. I am a wife, I'm a mother of 4, and I have 2 grandbabies. I just had a grandbaby last month, so I'm still excited about him. I've been practicing law for the last 11 years, and I champion veterans' rights, and I also do a lot of probate work. So in regards to veterans' rights, I'm a proponent for veterans. I help Purple Heart veterans, homeless veterans, Vietnam veterans, Gulf War veterans, and Korean veterans obtain their benefits and fight for appeals against the VA. On the other hand, as a probate lawyer, I do adoptions, guardianship, conservatorship cases. I defend those. I also do administrations, and I do the probation of wills as well. As a probate lawyer, I've had the opportunity to sit as a GAL, and also as a lawyer in general, I've had the opportunity to sit as a special district court judge and a special circuit court judge. You may say, Attorney Blanchard, what does that mean? That means that when judges are off their bench, they entrust me with their dockets to make rulings in their absence. I am very very active in my community. I'm a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha, Sorority Incorporated, and I do a lot of work in my church. I'm a trustee at 6th Avenue Baptist Church. There's 3 things that I want to do as the next probate judge, Jefferson County Place 1. I want to increase efficiency on the bench. You may say, Attorney Blanchard, what does that mean? That means that I don't want the dockets clogged. I want to make sure we're getting cases out because we're dealing with a lot of, with people's wealth and we're dealing with death. The next thing I want to do is combat voters' apathy. I want to get the public back engaged in voting and let them understand their voting rights. The last thing I want to do is to make sure that there are fair elections. You know, as probate judge, place 1, as the chief judge, I will be conducting the manner in which all elections are held. So I want to thank you for your support on the first leg of my campaign. I'm asking for your support on the second leg. And the general election on November 5th, I'm encouraging everybody under the sound of my voice to exercise your right to vote. That is a Fifth Amendment right that we all have in this room. And so in closing, I'm encouraging everybody to vote and to bet on Blanchard. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Blanchard. Mr. King.
Ken King, Rossbridge Parkway. A few weeks ago, the city requested that Kroll come in and do a forensic audit. The audit came back. It's a great company. They did their due diligence. The findings were troubling to some. I would like to know, just by a show of hands, because I heard the gentleman with Kroll before he left, he said, I'll be more than happy to come back and address any questions, any concerns you may have. Just by a show of hands, how many folks on the council have actually engaged Kroll in any manner?
Mr. King, this is the time for comments.
I understand. It's my time, though. It's my time. You don't have to answer the question, right? You don't have to answer it, and I don't want you to speak for all the other council folks either, big brother.
We're going to listen to you.
What I'm asking is if anyone would care, because this is the only opportunity a lot of citizens have to actually engage the council. Thank you, Councilor Middlebrooks, for being online the other day, creating a forum, literally putting yourself out there, asking folks to ask any questions of you. I thought that was very brave. You managed it perfectly. I think you didn't disintegrate. I think you got a lot of information out. Thank you very much for your leadership. Yeah, please. But for the rest of you, I'm just asking. Simple question. You don't have to answer it. Just go on record. The report came back and said you overstated the general fund by $30+ million. Now you can't give folks a small tax break for grocery relief, right? The Kroll audit said that you deleted thousands of emails, government records. I get it, right? It talked about lack of systems, lack of staffing, inadequate people in place. I'm just putting it out there. That's what it said. You paid $200,000 for this report. We paid $200,000 for this report, only to disregard the findings. And all I'm saying is, if the gentleman from Kroll says, I'll be more than happy to come back and ask and answer any questions. Just by show of hands, who took him up on the offer? Who said, please, President Leiter, please ask them come back so we can engage them? Is anyone willing to go on record and say, yeah, I was interested in learning more? Anyone?
Mr. King.
Is that a no?
Mr. King.
No one's willing? I'm sorry, Steve.
Let's let him speak. Go ahead, Mr. King.
Go ahead.
I want to hear.
Mr. King, go ahead, sir.
I'm interested in hearing him.
Mr. King, you have 43 seconds, sir. You're welcome to speak.
Oh, wow. Steve, are you literally not going to answer the question because President Leiter won't let you?
You're welcome to speak for your 43
I
seconds.
have 34 seconds, sir. I want to yield that time.
Mr. King is recognized.
Wow. All of you silent. Not one of you will take Kroll up on the offer to find out more? Not one of you will go on record. I still have 19 seconds.
Mr. King is recognized, Mr. Murphy.
Mr. King, so typically, just for the point of record, the goal is to give 3 full minutes to, and
you get my time back, right?
Oh, yeah, you get 17. Well, you asked me. That's why I need to let you finish up.
Let's let you speak. Mr. King, 10 seconds.
No, actually, you talked over my time, so give me 10 more seconds.
You've got 10 seconds, sir.
So again, I'm surprised you won't go on record. I thought I would ask. They extended the offer, the invitation to come back. Clearly, you guys are unwilling to do so.
Thank you, Mr. King. Mr. Schultz. Very good. Mr. Shaw.
I got it. So let me.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, so let me talk just briefly. Typically, and this happens quite a bit, The goal is to give you 3 full minutes to be able to discuss whatever you would like to discuss because the clock is ticking. So I typically don't interfere with that conversation, just like I came back and talked about the Riverwalk piece of it. So I'll make my response now so I won't get involved. So again, I've been in conversation with the mayor's office. I've made a couple statements prior publicly. And the bottom line of it, and many of us have dealt with audits that have showed us things we're doing well, things we can improve on, and things we need to ask more questions on as a part of audit. And then you have what you call an action plan that comes from that said audit that shows improvement. I'm in the engineering business, so I'm around a lot of regulatory requirements, unfunded mandates that come out the blue, and you have to do it within a certain time or else. But typically, you would get asked for a different time frame in order to achieve that level of effort. So I have asked the mayor's office, and we have a really good relationship. That audit is already broken down, and it will be presented on a quarterly basis of things that we have improved upon. So I'll land on that piece of it on that end. I think it's critical to have. I'll just speak for myself, to have me to give you a more detailed response than a yes or no. That won't really, in my opinion, satisfy. Well, I don't practice that. I'll just say that. So I'd rather give a detailed response after I do perform enough research, just like I just showed with the Riverwalk piece of that my colleagues have been a part of as well, too. So I'll land right there on that. So it wasn't that I wouldn't answer your question, Mr. King. I just know that we have 3 minutes, and you won't get you'll lose a whole minute by me responding. Yeah, thank you.
Mr. Shaw.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mike Shaw, 3444 Middlewood Drive. The issue of the sales or the grocery tax came up, so I wanted to address it really quick because that's a state law. First of all, as a citizen of Hoover, thank you for making that tough vote, because I've been in that seat. I've been in other seats where it's hard to cut taxes because on the other end, you got to make cuts. And to have the courage to make that vote, I think our citizens are being well represented. There are some other cities and counties, we'll go nameless, who don't like to make those hard decisions. And at their request, this law was amended. The original law didn't have some of the complications in there for cities. At their request, these additional requirements were added so that they didn't necessarily have to make that vote. And that's unfortunate, but hey, sometimes to get a law passed, you gotta make some give and take. Senator Jones and Representative Garrett, who's the chairman of the Fiscal Responsibility Committee, he plans to pre-file a bill that is going to strip all that back out and put the power in the city's hands, which is where it should be. Y'all know what your city needs, and there's other cities that might not be able to make those cuts. But anyway, I look forward to seeing what that is. The details are still being worked on, but I plan to support anything that's going to put the ability of a city to make those decisions. But as far as my citizenship here, I'm thankful that we have a city council that's willing to make that hard decision. Didn't work out. We're gonna fix it at the state level so that city councils can make that decision.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Shaw. Any other comments tonight?
I do have a comment, Mr.
Yes,
Lyle.
sir.
So to answer your question, Mr. King, I have met with Kroll not once but twice and had a very detailed report. And the findings are concerning, yes. But I will also say this, that one of my friends over here, Mr. Gunther, has been a CPA for over 40 years. He wanted to have a private meeting with our CFO, Ms. Cornett, and Mr. Grimes. And they came in and they explained everything what was going on and what happened and the reality of it, and also what they were doing going forward. And I think, Mr. Gunther, you came away pretty much happy, well, not happy, but satisfied in what you heard. So I believe it's best to always have transparency. And Mr. Mayor knows this too, as well rest of council. I think any kind of town hall that you want to have is welcome to do that. I think anything to put away conspiracy theories or anything, the best thing to do is just answer those questions. So I do understand that. And I welcome the mayor, anybody who wants to answer those questions or have some kind of town hall to clear the air, like Mr. Gunther had with Ms. Cornett, is welcome. But I'm just one. But again, I can tell you that what the report says is true. At the same time, though, I promise you, you do have people in Hoover, the city of Hoover, who care about it just as much as you, who are trying to make it right.
Thank you, Councilor McClinton. Thank you for your attendance. We're adjourned.